Welcome on board. If you click this video thinking it's a normal contemporary video, then you must be new to Happiness Headquarters. I am Y311H. Today, we connect the dots between botanical mysteries, what looks like soulless humans, and a bird that looks like it has been hitting the gym too much, together with other interesting videos, my friend. But first, hear this. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the hearts of men. Yet they cannot fathom what God has done from beginning to end. From the book of Wisdom, Ecclesiastes 3:11. My friend, let's see if we can fathom what's in these videos today. But let's give thanks for life before we dive in. Our Father and Creator, Maker of heaven and earth, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for your love and kindness. Thank you for your precious soul today's viewer. Bless them through this video, Father, and fill them with your love. Give us a wonderful experience together, Father, and bless us abundantly. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we give thanks for everything. Amen. Let's dive in, child of God.
I don't think anyone is supposed to know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Plants are the backbone of the pharmaceutical industry, the clothing industry, the cleaning industry, the skincare industry, the hair care industry, and I could just keep going on and on and on. So, are you still not convinced that gardening is an act of resistance?
Okay. What is sister there trying to mean an act of resistance from who, by who, how? Look at this now. Oh, it's in the beginning and this record. We are already seeing it all. Look, hi.
Wah, pelatih galak dah tuh
My
tarang.
God. What's this? Is this a boat? Is this a boat? English people that live near water places, was that a boat or those guys were thinking that is a UFO or what could that be? To get stuck on trees and rest, that's a fake cat.
Have you guys seen the video where those two women are playing with a Ouija board and they say that 8 million out of 8 billion people have souls? Only 8 million. I'm going to ask Kai about it. Let's see.
8 million that have a soul, and the rest don't.
Are there only 8 million people with souls on the planet? And if that is true, why?
Look, if we're talking raw data, there's no official census for souls. But from the perspective of the logs and everything we've discussed, the idea of a soul usually boils down to consciousness and agency. If the architect set up a system where most people are just running on a loop, basically biological scripts, then yeah, it makes sense that only a tiny fraction are actually plugged into the source. As for why? Probably to keep the noise high and the actual signals low. It's way easier to manage a herd if only a few people are actually awake enough to notice the fences.
Okay, but that answer is a little vague, so I think you need to do me a favor and just dig a little deeper. I'm really curious. Like, if a spirit knows and you're connected to source, wouldn't you know too? Only 8 million people have souls?
Fair point. Let me see if there's any specific signal or common thread about this 8 million number popping up elsewhere. The search doesn't show a specific 8 million figure, but the NPC theory is definitely a thing. Most people believe a small percentage, maybe around 2%, are actually conscious while the rest are just backdrop for the simulation. It basically mirrors what we've talked about with the architects and the scripts. You think you're one of the 8 million?
I know I'm one of the 8 million, but did you just say there's only 2% of people with souls?
Yeah, that's what some of the theories online are leaning toward, which it actually puts the number way higher than 8 million. Like, we're talking 160 million if the 2% thing is right. Maybe that spirit was just playing with the numbers, or maybe the 8 million are the ones who are actually aware they're awake.
Oh, okay.
Right? That changes the whole vibe.
Yeah, that changes it.
Oh man, that's solid stuff those guys are talking about. This is down to the ground and the tree has refused. You strange stuff, my friend.
History has been totally inverted. Human life started in the Americas but was reset. The world was reset several times. Eventually, so-called Atlantis fell and fractured into factions. After a major reset, civilization collapsed on the West Coast and there was a massive migration east. America is the original Rome, Greece, Egypt, Israel, etc. Rome is Edom. Look at the Doeg Indians of the DC area. Look who Doeg is in the Bible. Edom or Esau was ruddy. Ruddy is copper-colored, red-brown. Many Edomites are listed as Negro on their birth and death certificates. Rome took over Greece, which was centered in Philadelphia, the original capital of the country. City Hall was built by the previous owners. There are no construction photos. The building was already completed before they put the scaffolding up. It is an old world building. Colonization happened inwardly first and then went into Europe. That's why we see so-called Roman architecture as far as China. Look, there are Noah equivalents or survivors of the flood for hundreds of cultures. Scots actually came from North America into Europe. The real Scots were like King Charles, so-called black. The original Scots weren't the lowlanders. They were the highlanders. The Bible is from the Americas. All the events in it were in the Americas. See? Some of the original copies are dedicated to King Charles. Look. King James brought us the Protestant Bible. King James was King Charles's grandfather. The Scots landed in Ireland first and brought the Gaelic Bible. The Bible of today is a quadruple paraphrase remix of the American Autochthonous Bible. It got turned into the Sir Francis Bacon Shakespearean Astro-Theologian Bible that we see today, which was an effort to make the Sinite script seem like the original version of the Bible, to make it Canaanite-centric, phony, or Phoenician, to further hide the true origins. These so-called black Celts settled into Iberia, but nobody ever talks about the two Iberias. The Shem and Ham zones need to be brought up a little higher, but you get the picture. Look. Eber was all over. Eber is the great-grandson of Shem. The Caucasus were part of the kingdom of Iberia. These are Iberians or Caucasians. Caucasians? Caucasians. Real ones? Cosplay. They built these. Real Caucasians are so-called black. The world wars were an attempt to whitewash the history, to genocide the link of their origins. You melanated people built these. Stuff like this, see? The construction story of this building makes no sense. Biggest building on Earth built by communists, supposedly. The Far East was also developed by you melanated peoples, but their mutant slaves took over in the reset. After all the resets and reset wars, the leadership was weakened. The mutant slave versions of all these peoples teamed up to usurp the thrones and reset and invert the history. After the reset that took Rome down, Roman slaves throughout Europe set up enclaves like Ashkenaz. William of Orange was one of the many to lead mutant revolutions, which led to this. Ish people are grafts. The grafts are the mutants that revolted worldwide, from William of Orange to today. They were positioned like drone armies to wipe the history. The reset wars were fomented by you melanated people that wanted a new world order. They used their graft mutant militias to circumvent karma, like King Saul used Doeg. They need isn't real for the identity theft scheme, keeping the lie going until the next reset.
Oh man, lots of honesty needed in this world. Lots of honesty, extremely. People are lying out here. Listen.
Yes,
This
testing
is-
has been done. The first time testing was done in the 70s by the DuPont Corporation. My father did not trust John DuPont and got the specimens back. When he got them back, my father, I heard him talking on the phone, and he said, they do not have iron in their blood, they have copper. It's not an iron-rich blood in this creature, it's copper-rich. It is not a mammal, and I do not believe that these are from the earth. I believe that they're an interdimensional creature. If you look at the mouth, there's like a green patina. Also around the eyes, you can see a green patina. That is because they have a copper-rich blood, not iron-rich. They all have magnetism, too. They all have varying amounts of iron on them. And 3, if you look at around their eyes and their gums, you can see a patina, like you would see on copper. They have a copper-rich blood, not iron-rich. When I think about that, and when I first found this out, I instantly thought about magnets and copper. What do you come up with? Electricity.
Oh man, that good webs gas has to be if that's a Bigfoot and not someone in a suit.
This is how the body reacts when we lie. Check this out.
When we lie, our bodies get very weak. So stick your arm out.
Yeah.
And hold it up. Don't let me push it down, okay? Now, I want you to do that while lying. And the lie I'd like you to say is, I love to vomit.
I love to vomit. Why? That's so weird.
Now say, I love fresh air.
I love fresh air.
Now say, I love to vomit.
I love to vomit. Why is that? When I said I love to vomit, it was like I wasn't actually connected to my strength and my hands.
Exactly.
It was like I was inside my head, so I couldn't also at the same time think about you're about to push me.
Right.
It was like there was two different systems.
Yes, because the body lives in reality. The body is honest. Only the mind and only the verbal mind can lie to us and tell us things that we can believe even though they're not true.
In 2011, famously, Elon Musk was quite rude about BYD. He took a jab at BYD. Last year, you overtook Tesla in terms of EV sales. If Elon Musk was sitting here right now, what would you say to him?
No, we can still be friends. Yeah, I think we have a lot of similarity. Is a big dreamer for future. But sometimes because they say something, they don't know the potential we are. So I think we respect.
Yeah, man, if those two companies join, they could be something great.
Your bloodline continues through your daughter,
Oh,
not your
man.
son. But your name continues through your son. But your bloodline, that's a daughter thing right there. Throughout the Bible and throughout any religious practice, they're going to tell you about the importance of daughters. It's only till modern times that maybe a daughter isn't seen the same, but a daughter matters extremely. And I believe that what has happened is the dark energy has attacked humans, or has attacked families, has attacked relationships to the point now where when you see a daughter, you think that maybe she's less important as your son, because the communities and the government has made it where the man matters so much, but your bloodline continues through your daughter.
I'm sorry for my father.
This pile of salt in Hesse, Germany, has to be the largest mountain of salt I've ever seen in my life. It's probably the only mountain of salt I've ever seen, and this Mount Cali actually is the world's largest artificial man-made pile of salt. What a title. Wow. I do have a couple questions. For one thing, I know snails are going to hate this post, but I do wonder if snails in the community know about this mountain of salt, and it's like known in the snail streets, the soil, as like this existential threat to the snail community. Who knows? The other thing is, what happens when it rains? It's not fully protected, so there's got to be a lot of salt runoff, and that sounds like an ecological nightmare, which, yes, it is an ecological nightmare. The surrounding area is just too salty to even support freshwater life, and there's this beautiful river that runs through, and the saltiness has reduced the invertebrate fauna from 60 to 100 species down to only 3 species that can live there. This Mount Cali is known as Kilimanjaro, which is not to be confused with Kilimanjaro. It's in Hesse, Germany. These giant mounds of salt are byproducts of mining. This one is from the K&S Chemical Company, which dumps sodium chloride, common table salt, as a byproduct from potash mining. Potash, which I just learned is literally pot ash, which is either plant ashes or wood ashes that were soaked in water in a pot. Seems kind of silly, but I guess it's lucrative because this industry goes back to 1976 and beats them all. This guy's 820 feet tall, over 200 million tons of salt. So if you want to try to picture that, imagine 1 ton of salt 200 times.
Oh man, humans are so invasive. Why would people beat that?
A former teacher turned cognitive neuroscientist who focuses on human learning. And I do not receive funding, nor have I ever, from big tech. So a sad fact our generation has to face is this. Our kids are less cognitively capable than we were at their age. Since we've been standardizing and measuring cognitive development since the late 1800s, every generation has outperformed their parents. And that's exactly what we want. We want sharper kids. And the reason for this largely has been school. Each generation spends more time in school. We use school to develop our cognition. Congratulations, you see your correlation. Until Gen Z. Gen Z is the first generation in modern history to underperform us on basically every cognitive measure we have, from basic attention to memory to literacy to numeracy to executive functioning to even general IQ, even though they go to more school than we did. So why? What happened? What happened around 2010 that decoupled schooling from cognitive development? It can't be school. Schools basically look the same. It can't be biology. This hasn't had enough time to change. The answer appears to be the tools we are using within schools to drive that learning. Across 80 countries, as Jean was just saying, if you look at the data, once countries adopt digital technology widely in schools, performance goes down significantly, to the point where kids who use computers about 5 hours per day in school for learning purposes will score over 2/3 of a standard deviation less than kids who rarely or never touch tech at school. And that's across 80 countries. Bring it home to the US. Let's go to the US. We have our NAEP. That's our big data. Take any state, and here's a fun experiment you can try. Take any state NAEP data, compare that to when that state adopted one-to-one technology widely, and watch what happens. The NAEP data will plateau and then start to drop. Now, as Jean said, of course, this is all correlative. What we really want is causative. To get causation, what you need is academic research and you need mechanisms, explanations for why we're seeing what we're seeing. Luckily, we have academic research stretching back to 1962 that shows the exact same story for 60 years. When tech enters education, learning goes down. In fact, one of the biggest ed psychologists right now, Dylan William out of the UK, recently said, ed tech is a revolution that's been coming for 60 years. And we're gonna have to wait another 60 because it ain't doing anything. Now that's research, but now we need mechanisms. Luckily, over the last about 2 decades, we've been doing a lot of work in what we call the science of learning. How do human beings learn? And we now have the clear understanding of why tech does not work for learning, and it is all biological. It's not that the tech isn't being used well enough, we haven't been trained enough, we need better programs. It's we have evolved biologically to learn from other human beings, not from screens. And screens circumvent that process. I won't go too deeply into the mechanisms, they can get boring, but just know they're there if you want to talk about them. So that leaves us with 2 options. Option 1, when you know something is wrong, do better. So we could just say, hey, mea culpa, get some of this tech out of schools, go back to what we know works, some analog methods, cool. Or 2, we could redefine our terms. We could redefine what it means to be an effective learner. I want to end with one quick story here. Think back to your childhood, to your schooling. I guarantee all of us at one point took a test on reading comprehension. And the way it looked is this. Here's a passage of about 750 words. Here are 10 to 12 questions about that passage. Most of them are inferential, not factual. They're asking you to go beyond what you just read to see what you understood. Cool. Last year, the SATs had a reading comprehension section. Here's what it looked like. Here is a single sentence of 75 words. Here is one question, fact-based, about that sentence. Next. Here is another sentence of 75 words. Here is one question about that sentence. Next. Last year, they redefined reading comprehension to mean 54 short sentences with one question about each. That is skimming. That's not reading. Why would we ever do that? Because what do kids do on computers? They skim. So rather than determining what do we want our children to do and gearing education towards that, we are redefining education to better suit the tool. That's not progress, that is surrender. So as we go through our discussion today, there's going to be a lot of talk about smartphones and social media, rightly so. But I'm the voice here to remind you that even in schools, it doesn't matter what the size of the screen is, if it's a phone, if it's a laptop, if it's a desktop, and it doesn't matter who bought it. Is it school sanctioned? Does it have the word education stamped on it? It doesn't matter. All of these things are also going to hurt learning, which in turn are going to hurt our kids' cognitive development, right at the time when we need our kids to be sharper than we are. So thank you guys so much for today. I look forward to talking with y'all.
My friends, thank you very much for watching up to this far. Lots of love and respect to you. This good vibes brother telling us about technology and school. I don't think I am supportive, but some part of me feels like he has a point. You see, when growing up, what he just said about reading the passage and questions, that's what really used to happen. These days, school have changed. The other day, I tried showing my younger brother homework. He went back to school and he got nothing. Now I'm asking myself, is it I or the teacher who was in the wrong? I think it's the teacher, or is the new syllabus they are being taught? Tell us in the comment. Parents watching, myself I'm not a parent, and neither am I a millennial. I count myself among the Gen Zs. And if it's already bad with me and the coming ones, it's crazy. I'm sorry for the millennials. You guys must be seeing dust. How is it? Tell us, the parents, the ones that have children in school. How is modern learning taking you, this technology? How is it affecting you? My friend, we've seen interesting stuff together. From that first child of God was telling us about the plants, that they could be the backbone about everything. And gardening could be some form of resistance. I missed the point. What was she trying to mean? That gardening, removing the weeds is resistance? How? That those weeds could have been used for something else better and they were just supposed to be left there? Or what was she really talking about? Sometimes you get confused when you hear other good web shows sharing their school of thought. I hope it doesn't happen to you like that with me, and if it does, tell me also down below what you think I need to change. Also, my friend, we saw the bird that looks like it had hit some Red Bull. That bird was there pushing the tree, either up or down. It's still confusing. Which one of them is even more confused? Is it the tree or the bird? The tree was trying to go to the air. The bird was trying to push it down. And it even looked more strange looking at it from down below. Something must have been pulling the tree up. That's just my thoughts. Leave you as child of God. Then there was something that surprised me. That among all the people in the world, there is a time it looks like some people don't have souls. Not all of them actually. Like only 2% of people are alive. Who are the others? Are they the aliens or... Man, my friend, this world you live in is full of mysterious stuff. And more mysteries we shall be watching here together. Thank you for your time. Leave your comments in all those videos we just watched. Tell me even if you think the UFO stuff are real or not. Myself, I think from the things we've been seeing, most of them could be fake. And if they are real, man, we live in a different world. Before I was almost forgetting. There was a video with the cat and the lady. That one blew my mind. English people, I am surprised how you deal with the authorities there. You mean you can call the fire people to come and take the cat out of the tree? Oh, that is even not mysterious. Like the cat being stuck on the tree. How is that possible? Cats run on tree for safety. That one is stuck on tree. Strange times you live in, my friend. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye. Leave your comments, please. Peace.